Hello, my name is Greg Peterson. I am one of the co-founders of Jamestown Community Baseball, which operates the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. I am thrilled to introduce the book entitled Across the Seam, authored by Dave Muley. Part 3. Harry Bisgeier was called to war duty first. Before he left, aware that teams and leagues were folding at an alarming rate, Bisgeier arranged for the St. Louis Cardinals to operate the Falcons in his absence. We believe we owe it to the game and to the morale of the war industry to keep it going, Bisgeier commented before he left in late fall of 1942. Profits may be the exception, he added, but we stand ready to make sacrifices. 3/4 of all minor league ballpark offices were cleaned out and their stadium gates chained shut. The Falcons and the Pony League marched on in 1943. Soon after Bisgeier left, Newman was called by the Chicago Draft Board. Baseball has been good to me, Newman commented from his Jamestown home. I have had the breaks in baseball. I have received much more than a living from the game, and I'm ready and anxious to serve my Uncle Sam wherever I am needed most. Another crowd favorite was Ernie Solid Folks Hrovatic. Ernie was one of the star hitters on the team that year, and in fact he was only one of a fortunate 3 to begin and end the season in the Falcons, as there was so much change in personnel due to the draft. Ernie led the league in hitting for much of the season until a slump near the end of the summer dropped him into second in the league. When the season ended, the St. Louis Cardinal scouts and upper management called Ernie Hrovatic one of the greatest prospects they had ever seen and scheduled him to report to their Pacific Coast League club, a short step to the majors. Ernie came back to Jamestown 1 month before being sent overseas in June of 1944. While in town, he signed his autograph and was quoted as saying in the newspaper, "If I come out of this thing all right, and if I go on to make the majors, I'm going to make Jamestown my home when I am done with baseball. I like this town, and I like the spirit of the people, not only the baseball fans, but others whom I have met here." Harry Bisgeier was preparing during the off-season of 1944 and 1945 towards the new year. Memories flash back to one of baseball's favorites in 1943, Ernie Hrovatic, when word came in the February 14th, 1945 Post-Journal. Private Ernie Solid Folks Hrovatic, idol of the Jamestown Pony League baseball fans 2 seasons ago, gave his life to his country on a battlefield in Germany, January 14th. He was the first player to wear a Falcons uniform to be killed in action. When called to the service, Hrovatic was considered a top prospect and was due to report to the Pacific Coast League Sacramento club. The news came from Hrovatic's mother, calling to inform the town that her son had been so taken and would not be returning. Another blue star was put up in a window, and the first loss of a Jamestown Falcon. It would prove to be the only loss of a Jamestown Falcon in the war. Mitchell Pascarellla. So did you get any season in all this year?
Not at all. We barely got in a week or 2 of practice outside, and heard the news pretty early that we'd be sitting on the sidelines this year and not have any chance to play at all. My junior year went pretty well. We had a pretty young team, so we definitely saw some challenges, but we did have a strong group of guys that returned from my sophomore year. Great team atmosphere. The guys were real energetic, real into the team environment we had going on, and lucky enough to get Player of the Year for our league, and we actually did play a few games in the postseason. Great junior year. definitely one to remember. So it was nice to at least have that to hang a hat on, as in terms of my high school baseball. It was one of those things that I've always wanted to play local baseball at a high level, and when I saw as then Jammers were coming back, going through a rebrand, and the Perfect Game Collegiate League is a great collegiate baseball league, a lot of talent in that league, and definitely something I wanted to be part of. So I called Mr. Peterson, asked him if I was eligible to play in the league and how to get in contact with the head coach, Jordan Bazil. And he gave me his number, gave Coach Bazil a call, and met up with him and talked about the upcoming season and how I could be part of that. And I was really excited to have the opportunity to play for the Tarp Skunks. It's a shame that the season obviously has been canceled due to COVID-19, but definitely looking forward to next year. So through that, we have Dr. Carlo helping us out with his ins on the performance side of baseball, and just kind of been listening into some of the advice he's been giving us to build on what we already have from, say, our coaches, but definitely a lot of great stuff. He's really given us some pieces and some websites that have helped us kind of, with what we have been given, develop more on the side of what we can be doing right now, since we can't play, but we can still be developing our skills in certain aspects of the game.
So he probably doesn't encourage you to eat foot-long hot dogs?
No, he encourages dieting based on time that you wake up to when you eat your first meal to when you'll drink your drinkable nutrition to your next meal, and it's planned out. He has a lot of great information out there, and we've got a great program to have access to that. So my plans for the fall, pending, are going to the University of Connecticut to play baseball and study finance. Hopefully next summer as well. We'll see about coming back to Jamestown and playing for the Tarp Skunks next year. That all depends on what my collegiate coaches believe is the best decision for me, but definitely looking forward to bringing summer baseball back to Jamestown. I would love to fulfill my degree first off, but second off, I'd love to still be playing baseball, hopefully at a higher level, but be able to look back and say this is the path I've chosen, and I really am appreciative of how it's gone, and just try to get the most out of my baseball career while I can.
Why Connecticut?
Why Connecticut? So I had a few options coming out of high school, a lot of local schools like Canisius, Niagara, St. Bonaventure, but I really wanted great competition, which those schools had, but I knew I wanted a little bit more. And going to the University of Connecticut, it's one of the best baseball schools in the Northeast. Great coaching staff. They've been together for a long time. Facilities have just been completed this spring, which is very exciting. And just the culture they have is great. They've focused a lot on education, and that's one of the coolest things. When I went on my visit, Coach Penders, in his office, he has his diploma hanging highest out of any picture or piece of art on the wall, just showing his commitment to education first. But what they have built there has been many years of hard work from past alumni, players, coaching staff, and it's just a solid group of guys that has the same vision of winning a national championship, and I just wanted to be part of that.
When you told your mom and dad that, hey, I'm going to be part of the local Jamestown Tarp Skunks, what'd they think?
They're excited for me because I think we've always been around Jamestown baseball when I was younger. We loved to go to Jammers games as a family, or just me and my friends. So it was exciting because then we knew my family could come watch me play local baseball, because it would be tough because when I go to Connecticut, it's going to be 7.5 hours away, and my family might not have the same chance to see me playing as much baseball. So they were definitely excited. My grandparents, my close cousins, uncles, aunts, just family. So it would have been nice to have everybody kind of be able to share that experience of playing here in Jamestown at Dietrich Park, which would have been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
This is fantastic, and I love the hat.
Oh, thank you.
These are the secrets of champions. Toby here and Gene Roof. Let's talk about getting a good jump off of first base.
Well, for me, you have to not worry about getting picked off. I think in your mind, you have to have the second base. That's your goal. And you're really not thinking about him picking over as much as you are. You're watching everything that he does and looking for that first movement toward the plate. And once that first movement toward the plate goes, you are just trying to accelerate and get after it as hard as you can. You're trying to really burn and get after it and really dig down and try to reach full speed as fast as you can.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You get a lead over there. Your lead is a lead where you're comfortable of going either way. You don't have no fear. If he makes a great throw to first base, I'm going to get back easy. If he goes home, I'm going to be ready to accelerate. And when you accelerate out of the starting block over still on the base, it's almost like everything slows down. I mean, you're trying to get to a certain spot in about 3 or 4 steps so that you can peek in to see if there's going to be a play at second base or if the catcher is going to hold the ball. And all you're concentrating on is trying to get to that first 3 or 4 steps. Most of the time it's with your head down so that you stay down. It's a proven fact. The lower you stay out of your first 3 steps, the more explosion you're going to have, the more acceleration you're going to have to steal second base.
What I see with a lot of young base runners is they kind of slow down as they're getting ready to slide into the base. You have to hit that base going in full tilt. The base should stop you. And I see that with some young base runners right there, right before they get ready to slide, they start decelerating.